morning Hot Rod Power Tour. Anybody ready to be an Okie yet? Like Merle Haggard says, a place where even squares can have a ball.
Hey, we're on the 360 going north just before Paddock Road. We got a whole line of about 12 hot rodders that were on the side of the road, but they're getting back on now.
Is everybody taking the new route or the Rev 3 version? Never mind, I was looking at the wrong one.
Not a word you said, Yarborough came through.
Hey, we're just pulling out of Dallas, and I was just wondering, where about is everyone else at?
We're sitting in our hotel in Oklahoma.
Come on now, you're pulling my leg, right?
No, I actually left St. Louis last night. We just got into Oklahoma about 2 this morning.
Okay, gotcha.
We're on 114 putting along in traffic. We're 27 miles into the route.
Has anybody gone through Duncan, Oklahoma yet? Question mark.
No, we're still in Texas, period.
Sorry, I'm used to talking through Siri.
Hey, Bill, we're not baked. We're just very much sleep deprived, like going on 6 hours over the past 2 days.
Ah, you like that.
Now I want some cookies.
I was going to do eggs on the pavement, and I says, nah, cookies in the car is better. Yeah, it's not hot enough down there yet to fry an egg on the pavement.
Now that was a big bluff.
Hey, Scott from Austin, you out there?
Well, I believe I'm in Oklahoma now.
Hey, Tommy, what's up?
Scott?
Yeah, that one didn't come through.
Well, I looked for the 521 last night. I couldn't find it.
Well, that's probably because it's actually 512, just a little transposing of numbers there. But I'm sure the bartender would have known regardless.
Gave me something really good. I put it on Facebook on that post that you put of my car. However, I did just stop at the gas station, and I'm enjoying right now a nice deep ELLU brewery IPA. They won't hurt me.
Yeah, Deep Ellum is a district in Dallas that has now been turned into kind of a party headquarters, kind of like Bourbon Street or 6th Street in Austin. And the brewery has taken up residency there, too. They make some good beers.
Yeah, it was good. I prefer my IPAs in a glass, but it had good flavor.
Yeah, the right container can make all the difference in a beer, believe it or not.
Tour right now, Scott? And if you are, where are you?
No, I had to stop off in Austin. Got to get back to work and help my clients keeping their rides on the road.
Problem with work, it interferes with your social life.
Yeah, well, now I have a year to get my truck together for a long haul and plan a little more vacation time this time around.
Well, I'll be here next year. You got to look me up. I'll look you up as well.
You got it. Safe travels the rest of the way. Hey, I was just touring around the hotrod.com power tour page and noticed that the fellow with the picnic table got a little featured article written about him.
Dang, Brian, you're a celebrity.
Like we all didn't know that was going to happen. Just surprised it took Hot Rod Magazine that long to really do a feature about it.
Yeah, I popped on here out of curiosity looking to see how many people officially registered for this event, but so far they ain't saying.
Yeah, they won't tell you official numbers until after the event. That way they get all the numbers from the people that show up for the single-day events.
When I registered yesterday in Grand Prairie, they told me it was around 2,500.
And I think they were advertising 6,000 for Grand Prairie.
Actually, I should say my guess of more than 2 would be really close.
I'm kind of curious how many people didn't go because all the heat from being in the South all that time. There are just some cars that cannot handle sitting in traffic with that kind of heat.
Hey, did we ever get an update from those fellows doing the Power Barbecue Tour here in Austin. I'd love to hear their opinion.
I-35 traffic slowed to a crawl in case anybody's coming this way.
Hey, we finally made it to the registration line.
Well, you should be one of the first ones there.
I'll say there's a good 40 people in line.
Roger that.
Good afternoon, Hot Rodders.
Nobody's really talking, Rick. Everybody, I think, is baked.
I've been driving in air conditioning all day today, man. It's like sitting in my living room. I'm used to my old car that was never air conditioned, so this is comfortable. Yeah, we're only 20 minutes or so from the venue, so we'll see how the next few minutes go.
Yeah, I would have figured at least everybody would have been calling out Smokey the Bear reports, but yeah, like I said, I think Texas is getting to people.
I guess for me is I don't know how to use this walkie-talkie tool, meaning like protocol or etiquette. Back in the 70s, I had a walkie-talkie, and, you know, we did all the Smokey and the Bear chat, and nowadays you kind of think, well, gee, am I interrupting whomever?
Well, I got about as much couth as a hound dog in heat, so there ain't no such thing as etiquette. You know, jump in, chat, say whatever, go whatever, do whatever.
Just didn't want to set down my beer, that's all.
Son, you got some cojones.
So I'll take the stage for 1 minute. I brought 2 first-timers with me this year. We had car problems. I'm sorry, 3. We had car problems that made the first 3 days nothing but interstate. Get to the next venue, let the vendors try to help us fix that car that went home on a trailer. So really frustrating, pretty miserable first 3 days. And then suddenly you come back to yesterday and today where you just follow the route. You wave at people, you hang out with hot rodders, you give 100 thumbs up, you get 100 thumbs up. The camaraderie, the fun, what a difference just following the route and, you know, and hanging out with all the hot rodders makes. It's a lot more enjoyable.
As I said yesterday, it was kind of good that they dumped the lunch routes, the lunch stops, because so many people last year had to jump off the route just so they could punch in time at the second stops. That you know, that's part of what it's about. You know, that's why it goes down the side roads instead of taking the interstates. If you wanted to take an interstate ride, you wouldn't call it a power tour.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I've seen parts of Oklahoma that I never would have traveled in my whole life had it not been part of this Hot Rod Power Tour journey. I think what I got a kick out of today was I realized that there was cactus alongside the highway, and we just left, you know, the Cajun Bayou area and the palm trees and the shrimp and the, you know, the Gulf Shore lifestyle. It's just incredible the different experiences you can have in a few days.
Yep, there's a lot of country out there people don't realize. I tell my wife that all the time. I says there's a lot of country out there, a lot more than the little city you grew up in.
I'm retired military. I've been all over the world and just love traveling. We have a big fifth wheel, and the plan was to spend most of this summer traveling because I could work from the fifth wheel. And then I got a job where I have to be in a chair Monday to Friday, so the fifth wheel hasn't even been de-winterized yet this year.
Hey, I got a question for you. Anybody pulling a canned ham camper this year? I couldn't spit that out, Jesus. Last year there were a couple of guys that were doing the old canned ham campers behind their cars.
I saw a Challenger yesterday pulling the brand new reproduction of like a 50s style camper, you know, enough with 2 small beds in it or something. Very cool, but behind a brand new Challenger. That was really neat to see that.
Yeah, this one event that I do, they're getting big into now doing the car show with the vintage camper show along with it. And these guys will hang out for the weekend with their vintage Can-Ham campers.
Yeah, it's cool. We've got a great big fifth wheel, nothing like that. But, you know, got to admit, we're to the point now that we like all the air conditioning and all the luxuries of the big rigs, you know.
One of of the reasons I'm not on Power Tour this year is I had to secure my camper from our campground that had evicted all of its tenants and went up for auction yesterday.
Oh my Lord. Well, real life happens.
Yeah, I got a 37-foot destination trailer, a Sportsman with a big bay window in the front of it, but it's still a pull behind. It's not a fifth wheel.
Yeah, we did the fifth wheel. It works out well. It's 36 feet and pull it with a big Ram truck, so we can unhitch and go drive around.
Ours doesn't leave the campsite. This is our fourth rig, and went from styles from in the bed of a pickup truck to a Class C to a Class A, and now I'm in this 37-footer simply because I needed the room of the sliders, and we don't go anywhere with it anymore. So it sits in a campground, and it's like a park model, but it has a title and registration. It still qualifies as a camper.
Oh yeah, I understand that. That's probably as big as the mobile home I moved into when I was like 18.
Yeah, like I was saying, right before Memorial Day, our campground, after taking our money for the entire season, decides that they're going to go up for auction. And then they decide they're going to not fix the well after it broke and evict everybody in 48 hours. Called the health department on himself to close the campground.
Yeah, it's dirty pool. Stuff happens.
Yep, so needless to say, I was running rampant moving campers up until Friday. Actually, I was still getting stuff out of that campground. And, well, unfortunately, can't be in two places at once. They haven't created cloning yet.
Well, I got Oklahoma City in my headlights, so looking at the landscape or the environment is pretty cool. Getting close.
Well, there you go. A lot of people were talking about going to the God, I can't talk this morning. The Oklahoma City Memorial for the Merrill Federal Building.
Yes. Didn't put that together.
Hey, Bill, yeah, we were there this morning.
How was it?
Solemn and peaceful.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Well, Bogue, this says that I'm 3 miles away, so I'm going to drop out and try and turn this thing back on a little bit and catch up.
Hey, folks, I'm here to tell you that being back to work and watching all this stuff still happening, well, that sucks.
Sorry about that, pal.
On the plus side, the wife saw how happy this made me, and so I think I'm going to get a full week next year.
I got to tell you, I've been married 3 decades, and my wife, quote-unquote, lets me go do this every year by myself for the last decade, and we take just a bunch of guys and go, and as you say, you can spend a year working on your car trying to keep it running for a week, and then just go have fun. So, yeah, it's great to have support. I'd love to get her out here, but she gets tired after about 3 hours. That's about as much hot rods as she wants.
Yeah, mine has zero interest in participating in any of this stuff. The kids can handle a few hours of it themselves. My boy's talking like he wants to go with me next year, but we'll have to see about that.
Holy cow, this parking lot they're putting us in is massive. It's already 99 degrees, and I can't imagine what it would be like on this tarmac. This is just acres of tarmac. Incredible. Well, everybody drink lots of water. Have fun.
Well, as memory serves, I would imagine that just about anything's bigger than Grand Prairie was yesterday.
Hey, Scott. Lori said since she drove this whole tour by herself with no help from me, next year she's leaving me at home and she's going to do this all by herself.
So just went through the Oklahoma toll booth. There's a cop that just got on the highway by exit 108 outside of Newcastle.
Just made it through the toll booth.
Damn it, they weren't supposed to let you in.
Too late now. We're here. Well, we're here. It's 100 degrees in the car with the air, well, not in the car, but showing to be outside. Wonder what it is, and on top of that asphalt standing over there at the venue.
Uh-oh, Troy, is the heat getting to her and she's getting delusional?
Hey, Brian, are you here? Did you park somewhere?
Hey, for anybody at the venue, Motor Medics just shot the asphalt. Temperature is 168.
Yeah, we can definitely feel it over here in the car row.
I think that's hot enough to fry an egg on it.
I think you could fry a hamburger on it. We just got here. Our car read 101. But I tell you what, it's very comfortable out here, believe it or not. The nice breeze blowing, and I have breathing problems, and I'm doing fine. So you all can do pretty good.
Yeah, we got ourselves a tent over here in the cars in the normal parking rows. It's not too bad under the tent.
Hey, does anybody happen to know where I can get a header bolt?
On that header bolt, I believe if you talk to the Motor Medics or go to the AutoZone booth there, either one of them should be able to hook you up. So, Lori, Troy says you're going to do the tour next year without him.
Nothing better than the smell of race fuel in the evening.
Oh my goodness, that was hot. Just left the venue.
Yeah, it's hot down here in Austin, too. I'm got 103 degrees in the shade, about 125 where I'm standing trying to fix somebody's AC system on their van. And believe me, I'd rather be in your hot than this hot, because that sounds still more fun than this.
Oh, it is, it is.
Anyone going to Pops tonight?
Can you tell me what that is?
It's a soda joint just north of Oklahoma City.
Hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, they make all kinds of soda. They also have a little diner there, too. I was thinking about getting dinner there.
How was the crowd out there today in this heat? Did they come out to see y'all, or they shunning the heat?
Well, there were a ton of hot rods. The parking lots were full, and there were lots of people walking around. But, you know, if you judge by just the cars, had real good attendance. I don't know what the, spectator volume count was, but looked busy to me.
Maybe the lot's just really big, but there's a lot of empty spaces out here right now.
Well, I agree. The last hour or so, a lot of us took off.
I don't blame you, especially if you guys don't have a tent to sit under.
Yeah, it was a lesson learned for me. I'll bring a tent next year. Although I carried my umbrella around and took the ribbing from my buddies.
Well, a ribbing is better than sunstroke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had noticed there at Coda about this same time of the day, it seemed like everybody was bailing to get out of there. There was a mass exodus out of that parking lot. So maybe that just seems to be the way things go.
Yeah, I think 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock at every afternoon is really the busiest hour because everyone's arriving or has just arrived, and doesn't, by 4 o'clock it's time to get out, get to a hotel, and dinner by 6 or 7. But trust me, I'm not whining. I knew this when I signed up. I'm having a great time.
Same here. Me and my buddy are having a great time out here, too.
Yeah, I had a ball those first 3 days, but I definitely learned if I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to wait till the end and just shoot them as they're all going out and stay put somewhere in the shade. Me and the kids had a ball doing that the other day.
Oh, yeah, we learned that on our first tour.
Well, a little hint is the dyno pole trailer is always parked right along the main boulevard so that they can draw in the passerbys. And that big white rig throws out a lot of shade, so I've been sitting there every day.
Definitely bring your own drinks because they're charging people $3 for water.
How can you tell if you've been on Hot Rod Power Tour? Because in the passenger seat of your 2-passenger car, there's always an AutoZone bucket.
Or an Edelbrock shirt or hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, mine had all the empty bags of snacks that my buddy was chowing down on while we were en route.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping all this heat and perspiration I'd lose some weight, but I've been making up with it with junk food, so I don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah, I started my diet again last night. By hitting the salad bar.
Yeah, thanks for that. I had baked potato and all the trimmings.
Yeah, I pigged out in Louisiana because I love that Cajun food and seafood, so way overindulged all the way until last night.
So on your name, what does IHC stand for?
That's International Harvester Corporation.
Well, I'll be darned. Okay.
Yeah, my little hot rod is a 65 short bed step side pickup truck.
Oh, fantastic.
With any luck, you'll see me out on tour with it next year.
Well, I'm hoping to finish next year with the hot rod I start out with. So I'm going to start out again with my 1960 Chevy, and hopefully it'll go the whole trip next year.
Just shared a picture of the scenery for you guys.
Yeah, I remember hearing your story about that 60. So it's a bummer, but hey, at least you made the tour.
Oh yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It'll get fixed. Just moving on. I'm trying to figure out how to see the picture that somebody just shared. Where's it at?
Go under the little eyeball or circular clock-looking thing on the top right corner. Should show all the past messages, and on the right-hand side will be any pictures that have been posted. That's some damn fine scenery right there, sir.
Oh my God. It's funny, I didn't see them today at my car.
Yeah, my profile pic on my Facebook page shows me with the Gibson girls. I'm rather proud of that one.
Yeah, I tell my wife I'm here for the cars, so I'm not going to change that profile picture.
Yeah, my wife's a pretty good sport on that end. She even left a comment there saying, "That's awesome. I love this picture."
As long as you look, don't touch.
Yippers.
Back in a little bit, stepping in the store.
We're heading to Pops if anybody else is going. Traffic jam 35 north. It's clear to 66 though.
Well, heck, says it's been 2.5 hours since anybody said a word on this thing. What, did everybody melt?
Word.
I knew I could count on you, Scott.
Oh, yeah. I've been wondering the same thing. It's been a little quiet on that end.
My notification's been going off on the baked cookies all day, but I haven't heard nothing on it. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't heard. I haven't been paying attention, actually. I know it got 92 here in Chicago. It had to be hot down there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I had nearly 115-degree heat index down here today while I was trying to fix some people's ACs.
Yeah, you want to fix mine?
Word.
Well, hello, fellow Wordmeister. I figured everybody'd be heading to the swimming pool by now.
Trying to recover from this heat.
Today's the first day I wore shorts all year.
I'm glad I didn't see that.
We had the top down in the convertible first thing this morning. It got so hot so quick, we put the top back up and turned the AC wide open.
Them suckers are wide.
That just cannot be unseen.
Well, hell, I ain't been on a boat fishing in shorts yet. Ain't been hot enough up here to have to worry about shorts yet. I won't wear shorts in the shop simply because I know a guy that damn near took off a tendon in his leg from wearing shorts in the shop. And, well, hey, I know I ain't working inside. I ain't working in the shop today, so shorts it is.
I could have done without seeing that sight.
Yeah, hell, tornado warnings up on where my cottage is at today, too, even. I'm sorry, tornado watches, not warnings, watches. Yeah, my wife said it poured like a bitch here last night. I slept right through it.
Yeah, I think our rain is done down here for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just, 90 here, I knew it had to be in the hundreds down there. I wonder how many people are running to the auto parts stores getting external electric fans today.
Bill, does it seem like there's a lot of breakdowns this year compared to last year? Seems like I've seen so many pictures on so many breakdowns.
Yeah, when I originally planned on going, I thought about putting an external switch on my Super Sport because with the air conditioning being out on it, I can't just turn the air conditioning on and it puts on the low side fan. Now I gotta actually get up the temperature before the low side fan will turn on. Used to be my ace in a hole to keep from overheating. But yeah, I just couldn't see guys with manual fans even cooling in this temperature. Definitely everybody's going to earn their badge of honor this year.
Hey, Power Tour folks, can you hear this?
I hear you.
Thanks so much. I just installed this app on my tablet. I didn't even know this tablet had a microphone in it, but it looks like it works, so thank you.
Lucky you, I haven't been able to get it to install in my Windows 10 tablet yet. I don't have an app for it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I really like this Samsung I bought a couple years ago. It's an Android-based unit, but just does what it's supposed to do.
Well, the sound is real good. You're coming in just fine.
Thanks so much. Sitting here next to an air conditioning that has made this room just way too cold. After the day we had, this feels nice.
You didn't connect up with that other fellow about going and getting sodas or whatever it was?
No, I heard the offer, but I just kind of wussed out tonight. I ate some fast food junk, and I'm just chilling in my room. Wasn't up to a night out.
Well, cool. Well, I'm finishing up dinner with the family, so I'm going to just kind of go back to silence.
Thanks, bud. Have a great night, and see you on the road tomorrow. Bye.
You too, sir.
So I heard the forecast for Wichita tomorrow is in the hundreds.
Weather.com says 101. Should be fun, much like today.
22 people on here, nobody's talking.
All right, consider yourself spoken to.
Okay. If you say so. Okay, so what exactly is the Hot Rod Power Tour?
Okay, I'm not being rude at all. Are you serious? Because if you don't know what it is, I'll happily describe it to you.
Give me an insight on what it is.
Yep, happy to do it. Every year, Hot Rod Magazine sponsors an event where they choose 7 cities and as many as 7,000 modified high-performance cars participate. We'll start at one city. The next day, we'll drive to the next city. The next day, we'll drive to the next city. And each place you go, there's a big car show, 2,000-3,000 cars at one location. And locals come out, and some of them go the whole distance. Those are called long haulers. It's just a great way to hang out with car guys and gals and see a bunch of this beautiful country.
Yeah, I believe I've heard of that before. You guys don't, by any chance, come by North Carolina, do you? Around Charlotte?
Not this year. I know they did in the past. This year it was Baton Rouge through Texas and up into Kansas City. We'll finish up in 2 days.
So do you guys have, like, old cars? Like, I have a 78 Mustang too. You guys have any old cars like that? I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah, you see anything out here, that car is absolutely welcome.
Alright, because I've had a variety of Mustangs, and this one's by far the best one I've had. It's been rebuilt from an old rust bucket. So.
Yeah, go look at hotrod.com/events, and you can see the Hot Rod Power Tour website and see everything that goes on with it.
You said hotrods.com, right?
Yeah, hotrod.com/events.
Alright, I'm definitely interested. Next time it comes my way, I'll be more than happy to join.
Sounds good, bud. Well, you have a good night. I'm going to log off and call it a day. Best wishes.
Sounds good.
Night, Rick.
Okay, so we went by Farm Truck and Asian's garage, and we're hanging out there just for a couple minutes, and we saw the mad scientists show up in a truck, and they opened the gate, went in the back, and they could have stayed out there all night long without ever coming to the front, but you know what? Farm Truck and Asian came outside, took a couple pictures with us. Pretty cool guys. That's all I got to say.
Was that you that had posted the same info on Facebook earlier with the pictures and all? Good picture.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the picture you might have been talking about on Facebook, but that's the one we got.
Yeah, there was several folks posting today, I think, from that location. Looked like a pretty neat place.
Yeah, and the fact that they came out and took pictures with us, they didn't have to or anything like that. That was pretty cool of them. So, gotta give them credit for that. They're still real people.
Yeah, I'm not familiar at all with the place. What's the story there?
It's a TV show, Street Outlaws, on Discovery Channel. They're like street racing people and all that stuff. So it's a pretty good show to watch. I mean, it's entertaining. It's about cars and overcoming obstacles.
To be exact, drag racing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple issues of that before I cut the cable off this last year, so I know what you're talking about there. I just didn't recognize the name. That's good that they were cool to you, man. That's hot rodding.
I thought the same thing. They didn't have to come outside, and they're probably got other things doing. There was Lingenfelter cars in the parking lot and other stuff. So, they didn't have to come out, but they did. I guess they understand how they got there, and the people that support them, they help them get there.
I've watched a number of folks through the years gain a bit of notoriety and fame and forget where their roots are. So that's refreshing to hear that these guys haven't forgotten that.
I've seen the same thing, and I'll get that these two guys, they really did. I mean, the door was locked, everything was blacked out, but they came outside and hung out with us for a minute. And actually, when I made him hold up my buddy's wooden artificial leg, they were a little hesitant, but, he was all good with it because we were all good with it. So it was great.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what the story was with the wooden leg.
That's my buddy Wood. We had so much fun yesterday when we were coming from Austin into Dallas in that one traffic light with the big long delay. So he decided he would just rest his foot up on the mirror on the passenger side of the car, which is his real leg. And so I took his artificial leg and propped it up on the mirror on the driver's side of the car. The cop actually got out of his car to look at it, and people were just freaking out. It was awesome.
That's too funny. I swear, I think I saw a photo of a car from behind you making a comment about that. I may have to go back looking through the Facebook page and see about that.
Yeah, it's cool because when you're in a traffic jam, you just stick the leg out the window and use it like an oar, like you're rowing a boat. It's awesome too. Get a lot of attention that way.
I imagine. I've kind of been getting a kick out of the Camaro dude and the T-Rex as well. Some of their videos are pretty funny.
You know what? This was my first power tour, and I'm really old, so I regret that it's my first power tour, but I should have been doing this like 15 years ago.
No, I'm with you, man. I first learned about this about 22 years ago, swore I was going to do it, never did. I did the first half of it this year, first timer. I had a ball, and I ain't no spring chicken either.
Yeah, that's funny because, I knew about it 30 years ago, but whenever it first started, but I just had too many things to do. But, it's on from now on.
I'm with you there. My son's already asking me if we could start working on the truck this weekend, get it ready for next year.
Well, you better get busy.
Yeah, it's been gathering patina for quite a number of years now, so it's got a lot to need done on it.
Yeah, I just bought a 67 Camaro, so I'm hoping if I get my ass in gear, I might be able to get it out in primer next year.
Patina just means you can sell it for more, right? That is if you wanted to sell it.
Barn fresh, right? That's the going keyword nowadays.
Barn fresh, I like that.
I was thinking American Pickers, but that works too.
Yeah, if you scroll back in the pictures here till I think yesterday, you might see a picture of my old binder there. May have even been from earlier today. I don't recall. They all just kind of run together.
Isn't it awesome how it all rolls into one good time?
Well, I managed to find it and send it again, so it's right there on top.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I got a buddy here in town that's got another international that he and his son just finished restoring, and couldn't quite make it to Power Tour this year because it wasn't 0 miles kind of thing. So I was teasing him and said that if the two of us joined Power Tour next year, we could double the amount of internationals that were there this year.
Yeah, but certain other vehicles, you saw one or two, and then other vehicles like the one I'm building, old Camaros, and there's like a bazillion of them. But the old Camaros, man, some really nice work put into some of those cars.
No, I saw that too. There was I used to own a '69 Camaro that got totaled by somebody in a Christine car, and I've regretted that loss for many years. But I have to admit, driving around or looking at all these cars at the shows, I was really getting a kick at all the little oddball stepchildren that people made really cool rides out of, and so I'm kind of glad I've still got the old International.
Oh, the old Internationals are great, and some of the rat rods out here are insane. One guy has his headlights are made out of like cookie jars, or not cookie jars, but maybe sugar tins with the glass lids on them with a little latch hasp. And he made his headlights out of that, and his taillights were made out of the smaller, maybe tea bag jars or something. It's awesome, and it's truly a work of art. And that's all you can say. These guys are artists, a lot of them.
Yeah, there was one that I saw in Austin that a guy had used some adjustable wrenches as his motor mounts, and then of course had wrenches predominantly used throughout the rest of the thing, and I think he even had a connecting rod for a steering wheel support or steering column support. It was pretty radical. Really liked that truck.
Yeah, I saw that. It had a Cummins diesel in it, and like all the tubing for the frame, even the tie rods were like 3/8 thick steel, so he could run over a train, I think. The funny thing is, these guys are imaginations. They're amazing at some of the stuff they think of.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the wrong kind of drugs for that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. These guys, artists think differently than other people do, and that's all we can say.
Well, thank goodness they exist so the rest of us can enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen so much really cool stuff that, my buddy was telling me earlier, if you think you can think of something, just go to the Hot Rod Power Tour, and somebody's already thought of it, and it's there. You just got to walk around and find it. Now,
are you driving that Dodge truck on the tour?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am. We left. We were going to start in Baytown. Well, we did start in Baytown, but we started out, and it was my buddy with the artificial leg. It was his birthday on Saturday, so we decided, hey, let's just go to Woodlands on Saturday and have a good birthday party and celebrate, stay in a nice hotel. And then Sunday morning we get up and get ready to leave. Well, the Pro Charger on my Dakota pretty much shelled itself. All the input bearings and all that and output bearings went to death. And then it basically took us 8 hours to get to the from the Woodlands, which is 25 miles north of Houston, to Baytown.
That's dedication.
Oh yeah, we had to find a shorter belt to bypass the Pro Charger. Then we got on the road, and Buddy was traveling with us, has a 72 442, and we're driving down the road, and a fuel pump broke on it, and it was like the flanges bolted to the block, and the fuel pump just broke in half. Half of it fell out, and so we had to go to the deepest, darkest corner of Houston to get a fuel pump and put it back on. And as soon as we got back with the fuel pump, it was like total downpour for like 2 hours. So it was an adventure.
Yeah, I remember that day. I'm glad we got to the event right at noon and were able to catch all the festivities. And we were sitting there watching the drag races when a Corvette scattered his differential, and they closed down the track there about 4 o'clock. And he and I looked at the clock, we looked at the sky, we were like, you know what? Time to go. And I mean, 10 minutes later, there was a torrential downpour. It was insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. We didn't even make the event. We went to the registration and we were listening to the Zillow app, and all the people were complaining that they couldn't get out of there. So we said, why the hell would we go there? So we went straight to the hotel.
Yeah, my buddy and I drove across town to Sugar Land and was having dinner with his wife and daughter and kind of listening to everybody still sitting in line over there even till after we were done eating. It was, man, I was glad we had left.
Yeah, look at what I get to deal with now.
That looks like a lot of dead weight to move.
Especially when he only has one leg.
Well, I'm glad you guys are having fun. You gonna take it all the way to Kansas City?
Well, I wish I could, but I got to be at work on Friday, so we're heading back to Dallas tomorrow. But let me tell you what, this is my first year, the first of many, because next year I have Mama's 67 Camaro, and we're going to do the whole thing every year from here on out.
I'm going to share this with you guys. We're on 35 North going to Wichita behind a truck in a construction zone, and it's hitting these cones left and right. It's really funny.
You might want to stay away from him.
Well, it's a semi-truck, so he's hitting the cones with the back of his trailer. He doesn't even know he's hitting them.
Well, be safe and stay away, please.
Will do.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now that I've done that first 3 stops, man, I am definitely hooked. Met some great people along the way and saw a ton of really cool cars, and it definitely got me going again. I wondered if I'd even kind of lost that, and now I'm back into it. Didn't take home much.
Well, for me, it's one of those things that, why the hell did I not do this a long time ago? I mean, I've been in the car world for 40 years now, and, just, never really did it.
Yeah, I did a bunch of that stuff in my youth, autocrossing and drag racing and all kinds of stuff, building cars, trucks, the whole 9 yards. And then I got to turning wrenches every day for a living, and I kind of just got a little burned out on it. And then came the wife and the kids and the houses and the boat and, all the bills. And needless to say, the toys just kind of have languished.
Yeah, I hear you. The toys, the boat is a toy, but I definitely understand. I was younger and had an opportunity to go into wrenching on cars, and I was actually pretty good at it in the day, but I decided I didn't want to go down that road because I want to go home and scrub grease off of them every day.
Yeah, the only problem is I still haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up. In the meantime, I do pretty well with what I got, but it's time to kind of get that passion going again.
I hear you. And the guys that do turn wrenches every day, some of these guys are freaking artists.
Yeah, and by the way, the boat isn't a toy, it's therapy.
I hear you. We bought a boat like 12 years ago, and I think that's kind of what took me away from the hot rod world is going out on the lake every weekend with the kids. Even when the kids were babies, we'd get on the boat and they just fall asleep immediately. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love my boat. Hell, I'd probably live on a boat if given the chance, but luckily that chance hasn't come up yet. But I'm still trying to talk the wife into, buying a lake property and moving our ass out of Austin. We'll see if we can pull that off.
Yeah, if she's an Austin native, that's going to be hard to pull off. I used to work in Austin a lot, so I get the whole Austin mentality, but, there's a lot of cool places in Texas. Lake Whitney's not too far away, and it's a really awesome place.
Yeah, I like Lake Whitney. Back when I was younger, we used to fly up there with an airplane club. My dad was an airplane nut, And we used to fly up there to Lake Whitney and spend the weekend and all that. And I think we even took the boat up there when I was a kid as well. And I've done some hunting in and around there. There's a little, I want to say there's a little state park or something there that allows you to do some bird hunting and what have you. So, yep, been up there a few times.
Oh, it's great. I took my daughter, my youngest daughter, there. She's 2 years old. We're jumping off the cliffs with each other, and we got videos of it. It's great. It's awesome. Although when we went across it yesterday, it looked like it was a little bit flooded.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of that. It looked like they had all the floodgates open on that thing, and it was flowing. Ours are doing the same down here in Austin. It's kind of crazy. There's been a boating ban on Lake Travis for the last 2 weeks now. They still haven't lifted it.
That's funny because Lake Travis has been like 40 feet low for the last several years, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. But Lake Whitney, you could go jump off the cliffs. Now you might just be walking into the water.
Yeah, Travis was over 80 feet low, I believe, is what it was at its peak there, and now it's about 20 feet over. It's a big change of pace over the last 8 years.
Yeah, but that won't stop the people in Austin from enforcing water sprinkler restrictions and all that crazy stuff. That's why I don't care for Austin.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're still in class 2 or level 2 waters restrictions right now. Can't wash your car in your driveway, water your lawn, all that stuff, and got water standing, of course, from all the rain, but even still, it's like, really?
Yeah, I used to have I had like 60 properties in Austin, and the city would drive around in the middle of the night, and if your sprinklers were going, they had this big clock they carried in their car. They would set it out in front of one of your sprinkler heads and take a picture of it so that they could prove that you were watering illegally. That's crazy.
Yep, I remember that.
But this power tour, we met some guy on the route, and he was traveling with his grandson. He was probably at least 80. He was in his 80s. He admitted that, but he wouldn't tell us his exact age. And he bought this car, an old 72 Cutlass, for his grandkids, and he had a few problems along the way, and we tried to help him along. We replaced a few parts on his car, and we made a lifelong friend with this guy. That's one of the things that make this whole trip worthwhile.
Sorry, trying to chat and post crap on Facebook at the same time. I'm kind of thrilled. I had a couple of strangers use my pictures as their profile pictures of their cars, at the meet. So that's kind of cool.
I am still in dire need of a header boat. Check the auto parts stores around. Nobody has it. Vance was closed. Napa was closed. I'm willing to pay for it if anybody has a header boat. Thank you.
Yeah, there's only 14 of us monitoring this right at the moment, and only 2 of us chatting, so I'd say your pickings are probably going to be a little bit slim on that tonight. I would definitely do a little Google search and see if there's a nut and bolt supply house in that town up there. They may be able to help you out where the auto parts stores can't, because frankly those guys don't carry diddly squat in hardware anymore.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the info.
If you don't find something by tomorrow morning, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I'm just driving back to Dallas, so if there's a way I can go get some parts for you and bring them to you, I'd certainly do that.
Man, that's mighty kind of you. I don't want to inconvenience anybody. I just was hoping I could find one around somewhere, but I guess I'll wake up and try again tomorrow.
Well, just wake up early and find somebody nearby, and I certainly would absolutely be. It'd be awesome if I could just help you out and bring some parts to you. We went by the farm truck and Asian garage and got them to come out and hang out with us for a minute. But we'll if there's a place around here that has the parts, we'll damn sure bring them to you.
We have a store in Missouri called Fastno. I don't know if they have store branches down here, But they sell all kinds of nuts and bolts and stuff.
Well, I'm mobile. It's just that I'm making a horrible sound. And when I left Dallas, one of my bolts had backed out and one was missing. I tightened one back down, and I just checked again. The one that I tightened backed out again. So I'm gonna probably put some what is it, Permatex or something like that on it to try to get it to hold. And I am mobile, so I'm able to come pick it up if anybody has it.
I would call an auto parts store and have them overnight it to the next town that you're going to. And if you pull that header apart and put some ultra copper silicone on it, man, that's the stuff for header gaskets.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot. I'll give a holler in the morning if I have no luck. But I thank all you guys for the info. Thanks.
You're certainly welcome, sir.
Hey, I had my co-driver take a look to see if there's a Fastenal in Wichita for you. We'll let you know here in a second.
Good deal.
Yeah, I'm amazed that the auto parts store didn't have one of those little chrome sets of header bolts. They used to have those hanging up on the wall.
Yeah, we were just talking about, hey, in AutoZone even has them hanging on their little wall all the time. But maybe it's something they just can't look up.
You know what? I didn't even check the wall. I went straight to the parts counter, and the guy looked, and he said he didn't have the header, so he checked for the manifold bolt, and they didn't even have those. But I will check tomorrow the wall. Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny because when you call AutoZone and ask them, you say I have a 72 Chevy, whatever, maybe it's a Malibu or whatever, and then they want to know what color it is,
Good news, we found a Fastenal in Wichita. If you look them up, they have all kinds of bolts, nuts, and everything. So yeah, do a quick Google search, you'll find it. You should be able to find your bolt there.
Could you say that name for me one more time?
Yes, sir. Fastenal. Fastenel, I think. A-L, sorry.
Okay, Fastenal, I got it.
Yeah, they definitely have a store in Wichita, so maybe give them a call, or I can run over there tomorrow. I'll be in Wichita ahead of the store.
Yeah, they should have something that would work. I would definitely check with maybe O'Reilly's, because I know my local O'Reilly's. I go in there all the time, and they have a wall there with performance parts on it, and a lot of it's turned into rice burner stuff now, but they still have some old school things there, and I would swear they probably have a set of those header bolts hanging up there in a bubble pack. But otherwise, Fastenal's a great choice.
I agree. And if you see some hole in the wall auto parts store on the way, I guarantee you they're going to have a set of header bolts. And just remember that ultra copper silicone, man, that's the best stuff ever.
Now I'm going to want to take all my other bolts out and put it on those as well.
Don't put it on the bolts. Just do a paper thin layer on each gasket around each port, and man, it never leaks.
Oh, so this you actually put on the gasket itself, around the gasket. I have aluminum gaskets on there, and before the bolt bagged out, I didn't have any problems with the leaking, but I will definitely try to put it around my gaskets.
Oh yeah, put it on both sides of the gaskets, just a paper thin layer, and it really does work. I've used it for the last 15 years, and I have no complaints.
Yeah, and if you're worried about the actual header bolts backing out, you can use some liquid. God, what is that stuff called now? The blue stuff. Anyways. Also, I wanted to let you know, I just looked on Advance Auto Parts website, and my local one carries Mr. Gasket header bolts, part number 915, 917, 918, and 918G. So out of all of that, they're bound to have something there that will fit your application.
I think you're talking about Loctite, by the way.
Yeah, I had a brain fart. Loctite. They have red and blue, and you'll want to go with blue because the red's a lot more permanent.
All right. Well, I'll be purchasing that tomorrow, along with the copper, and I will hit Advance Auto in the morning. They were, like I said, they were closed today when I made it to them, but I will hit them in the morning. Thank you all for the information.
Yeah, no problem. That's the benefit of being at home in front of the computer.
Or having a co-driver that has a smartphone that can look it up too.
You heading towards the next stop already tonight?
Yes, sir. We're traveling ahead of the tour this year to do some sightseeing.
That sounds like a wise thing to do.
Somebody on the Facebook page recommended a space museum just north of Wichita, about an hour north. We're going to hit that up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, as a first-timer, it's hard for me to fathom not participating in the daily run and all that, because, my God, I had so much fun with that. But I could also see the advantage of what you're doing there. You make a full vacation out of it that way. Get to sightsee a little bit, plus you're still participating.
Yeah, we did the whole tour thing last year, following with the route and everything. So doing something a little bit different this year. See how it works out.
Well, be safe and have fun, and give us an update tomorrow on what that thing was like.
Can do.
What's up, guys?
Well, there's our fearless leader. It's about time you chimed in.
I knew something was going on. Even though my phone was in busy mode, I could still hear the chimes from the pictures. About to get run over by a freight shaker hauling pups. Hey, any of you guys know how you got a rookie driver hauling pups?
Nope.
And the rear God, I screwed that one up. When the rear trailer's a-swaying, he's looking in his mirrors to see where he's coming from instead of where he's going.
Your tang getting a little tangled up there, my friend?
Yeah, it's been a long day. So what are you guys up to?
Well, James and I have been sitting here chatting for about the last hour and about cars and power tour and what have you, and that's been about it. It's been kind of quiet. Had another gentleman or two pop up, and that's about it.
Yeah, I kind of caught some of the playback on some of the stuff. That old boy still looking for a header bolt?
I think we got him pointed in the right direction at this point.
Well, that's good.
Dang old school parts are starting to be hard to find, I guess. And these dadgum kids that work in the parts stores, they can't look anything up without the help of the stupid computer.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Hey, Bill, we're hanging out too. We're just driving, so we're not talking as much.
I think the funniest one, I went into an auto parts store. I says, where's your Type F? Where's your Type F at? And he goes, what kind of car is that for?
Oh, I know. I called one up just a couple weeks ago and said, hey, what are you selling a Group 35 series battery for? And the kid's like, well, I need to know the application. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? I mean, just walk over to the shelf and look at it if you had to, but Group 35.
Yeah, I just went through that with some Group 65s for my diesel. Yeah, same deal. What for? Let me look at the shelf. I'll tell you what they are. Hell, for that golf cart I've been working on the last couple of days, I actually went to the Batteries Plus and got batteries for it, and they offered me a job. All because I knew how to read their stickers of what the date codes were.
Yeah, we're old school dinosaurs, man. That's a dying breed.
Hey, thanks, guys. Now I feel out of place.
And why do you say that?
I'm 33.
Oh, so you still rotate out to your summer air in your tires when you went on power tour, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you changed out those muffler bearings before you made this trip, too.
Yeah, we made sure that the blinker fluid was topped off.
Got a few new pictures for y'all to look at.
Well, I hope you use Type 3 blinker fluid and not the actual headlight fluid in that. You know, they're different.
I had a hard time trying to find the elbow grease, too.
Yeah, I stocked up on that when they had a sale on it a couple months ago.
Oh, boy.
You guys are great.
Nah, we're just car guys.
My type of people.
Well, you may be a young punk kid, but we're glad to have you along for the ride.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Hey, somewhere down the road, somebody took you under their wing and taught you about cars, because I've seen your car from last year, and I know you got you a nice Mustang this year. So somewhere somebody gave you the bug in the cars, and somewhere down the road you'll take somebody under your wing and you'll get them into the car hobby.
I think part of it came from my father's side. His father used to drive stock cars in New York.
Now, I got an interesting story to tell you guys. I'm up, well, this is back in 2008. Because of one of the other cars I own, I was invited to GM for the 100th anniversary of General Motors. We did a big car show up at GM Tech Center in Warren, Michigan. So we're all there going, wow, look at that. There's a year for every car ever developed for the 100 years of GM. Every make. There's nobody there. Come to find out, we did a car show for the techs and the engineers for General Motors. So they let everybody out of the office. They come out into the courtyard and they're looking at the cars. And old boy walks up to this 57 Cadillac and goes, oh, I didn't know you oiled the generator and oiled the distributor. And I looked at him and I says, what do you mean you didn't know that? He goes, well, I'm not a car guy. You're engineering what we drive today and you don't even know about cars? I shook my head and walked away.
I bet you he knows more about computers than us, though.
Yeah, and that's why us mechanics have such a hell of a time fixing these damn things these days, because these engineers don't know anything about how they're put together in reality.
And that was one of the reasons I started my record business back in 1989. As I started seeing the writing on the wall, when everything was going to computers and everything was becoming computerized, I says, there ain't no way in hell I'm going to try to keep up to this shit. This shit's going to change faster than I can learn it. And that's when I said they'll never do that to diesels, and guess what? Now they're doing it to diesels.
Yeah, I've pretty much given up on buying all the latest and greatest tools to work on these things, and I'm just going to limit myself to everything made from about, I don't know, 4 years ago on back. At this point, I'm getting to be too old to learn new tricks.
It's not a matter of being too old to learn new tricks. It's just a matter of being too old to try to change the way you've done things. You said it yourself. These technicians today, they can't work on shit because the engineers are building it to where we can't work on it. I mean, they've been doing that since the mid-90s. Hell, look at these new Camaros from the 90s and stuff like that. Well, look at the new Camaros in general. Back in the 90s, they started where, well, you want to take the engine out of it, you got to pull the engine down from the chassis.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that. It's just, you got to pull the whole engine out to do any kind of major service to them. It's just ridiculous. Change the valve covers on a Subaru, you got to pull the stupid engine out just for a little oil leak.
Yeah, and that scares me because, the car hobby, yeah, I grew up through the 70s and I lived through the gas crunches of the 80s and the 70s and shit like that. And, when, if you could get it at the Barca Tire, you were lucky off the showroom floor. But, it scares me now because, yeah, they're making more power with more computers and stuff. But what the hell's going to happen when that stuff has 300, 400,000 miles on it and somebody's got to actually redo it? And, 10 years is what they're keeping. I'm going through it now with my 95 Impala. There's just parts I cannot get. And what's going to happen to future generations?
Instead of fixing, people are just replacing.
Yeah, it's a throwaway society.
Well, it's a big money grab by the car makers, too. I mean, how much money are they making every time someone buys a new car?
I don't know. I mean, when literally I'm looking at a new pickup truck and the truck is worth more than a freaking cottage that I own, how much are they making? When your house is worth less than your car.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I mean, I can't talk. I'm driving a $43,000 car, so I completely understand.
My wife's got an 06 Tahoe. I traded in her 03 on the 06 because I knew the 06 was the last year before active fuel management. The only thing that went through my head was the old 468 Cadillac motors. I says, you ain't going to put me in an active fuel management truck. So I got her the 06, and I've been hanging on to it as long as I can. It's up to about $1.50 on its odometer now. I says, okay. I says, I'll replace my winter beater, and I'll get you a new truck. Started looking at new Tahoes. $75,000 $2,000 for a flippin' Tahoe. I says, honey, I says, I can get you a new extended cab pickup truck, put a tonneau cover on it, and get 2 of them for what you get for that Tahoe.
Yeah, that's just stupid money, man. It's ridiculous what they're getting for those things.
But what the point of what I'm getting at is, isn't that the whole thing that got General Motors in trouble back in 2009 when they went bankrupt? Is they weren't giving the people what they wanted, and they were just doing what they had to do to be a company? Well, every sock and mom under the sun wants them full-size SUVs, but guess what? Now you got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's kind of why you don't see me with any GM products anymore. My last one was a little 99 Astro van that I had that I ran my business out of. Sold that off here just a few months ago, and I ain't got any more GM sitting around.
Yeah, me and my co-driver are the same way. We were both Chevy guys, and now we're both Ford guys.
And has anybody even looked to see what the sticker is on a new Escalade?
That 70, 80,000 easy.
No, 70,000 is a Tahoe. An Escalade is up about 99.
Yeah, I just did a quick little Google on that, and looks like the standard starts at about 73, and they got a platinum edition that's about 89.
For what, an Escalade?
2016 Escalade.
Well, the one I saw at the Chicago Auto Show had a $99,000 price tag on it.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure they can option it out that way.
Try it again, Troy. You didn't come through.
I said, is that all? I'll take 2 of them.
Like I said, I told my wife, I says, you're gonna get a crew cab, 4 cap on it before you get you another Tahoe. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand government mandates and tire pressure sensor monitors and computer this and da-da-da that, everything that they have to do with all these EPA laws and everything like that. But, you know, I mean, I posted something on my Facebook page earlier today that puts it to perfect. You know, rest in peace, America, because we've made it literally to where we have to work. Everybody has to work in their family now. Husband and wife has to work. There's no time to raise our kids because we have to pay because cost of living is so freaking high. You know, yeah, I understand. I'm a businessman. I know about passing the cost of doing business on to my customer, but they're getting a little carried away with these vehicles.
Well, let's be careful, guys, because we're going to wake up in the morning and somebody's going to be posting on Facebook that we've been whining.
I can whine. It's my sandbox.
I'm with you.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like where the auto industry has gone as far as, you know, you can buy a car and be able to go on power tour with it, and people can appreciate it. You know, there's a lot of options out there to where, hey, you know, there's some nice automobiles out there. But, you know, I come from a background where a truck's a truck and truck's a work vehicle. And, you know, I've had Broncos, and I've always liked the coach works of a Chevrolet. You know, Ford was always a work vehicle, and Chevy's was always, you know, had a better coach works about it. But now you're sitting in these new cars, they're like spaceships, and they just don't, personally, I mean, I think they break down more than the old cars do. And you're paying for what?
Okay, since you just mentioned cars are like spaceships, I've got to post a picture that we took before we started of how we're driving my Mustang. It'll make you laugh.
I mean, I bought my mod 2015 Flex last year. And yeah, I understand it was modeled after the Fairlane and everything like that. And she thought it was cute and she liked it. And, well, needless to say, you know, the Platinum, I think it was the Limited or Platinum, whatever the top of the line Flex is $40-something thousand. And the SEL, I think I paid $21 for it or something like that. It was like half the price. But it's got so many options on it, she can't figure out how to work them. Thought you were posting a picture, Josh.
Yeah, my co-driver's helping me out. He's taking a picture for me. There you go.
Yep, that's a spaceship.
I I got the phone on the left on the windshield, running Zello, and then I've got a 8-inch tablet in the center of the screen, center of the picture there. That's running navigation, and then I've got my 8-inch screen that came with the car. It's just showing audio.
Reminds me of my aircraft flying days.
If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a huge nerd.
Now that Mustang's new enough. You got Bluetooth in that?
Yeah, that's what we're using to listen to Zello right now.
That was my question. They said that you can operate this Zello through via your Bluetooth. I don't have nothing new enough to be able to use it on. Nothing I own has Bluetooth in it.
I haven't tried running it through the main head unit here. I could try that when we stop.
That's what I ran all week on mine. I had a Bluetooth adapter that I bought right before the tour and plugged it into the auxiliary port on my stereo, and we were all chatting on it, while I was driving. Worked flawlessly. I didn't even have to do anything special inside of the app that I can recall to set it up. I just connected up the Bluetooth, and it automatically went over there.
Yeah, I just use my up volume key as my key up for Zello. But like I said, they say you can run it through a Bluetooth.
Like I said, I've got the stereo running through Bluetooth. I can hear you guys through the car, but I don't know if I can control the app through the head unit itself.
Yeah, that I don't know. I just ran the audio through the head unit, so I didn't try to control it whatsoever.
Well, you got a couple days to figure it out.
So then, yeah, if that's the way you can run it, that's exactly how I have it set up in the car here.
Yeah, the only downside I experienced doing that was, during those kind of slow periods there, we'd turn on the radio and talk and all that, and, it was unable to really notify me that anything else was coming in because the phone was in sleep mode or whatever, and I didn't get to hear the little chime or anything when anybody beeped in. But other than that, I just wake it up every now and then, take a glance, see if anybody was chattering, and move on.
Looks like we might be heading into some nasty storms here in Kansas.
I'm trying to find a picture of the inside of my mobile command unit.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of the same thing because my truck's, of course, outfitted with a laptop, sitting there cop style, and I've got the Bluetooth all rigged up, and use the phone for streaming. Heck, sometimes I use the laptop for streaming music, and of course got a printer under the back seat and power inverters to run everything. It's quite an interesting rig.
Hey, it works. That's all that matters.
Kind of like us, huh? Function, not beauty.
I don't know. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I trolled your webpage. That catfish looks better than you do.
You're funny. Which catfish? I do a lot of that.
Oh, I just scrolled down a couple of images there and saw, I think it was you or the wife, somebody holding a catfish over there on there. I think you mentioned that she got a bigger one than you did or something like that. Anyway, that's about as far as I got. Just kind of verifying if that was you that I was talking to on this thing that was on the Facebook.
Yep, it was me.
Yeah, I've been busy. I uploaded a couple of 100 photos into an album up there, and then I've been kind of busy scrolling through Facebook trying to match up owners and their cars and tagging them so they could see it. Had a few of them actually turn my pictures into their profile pics, so that's kind of a little flattering thing tonight.
Well, that's like I told Josh. He's earning his photo royalties from last year. He took one of my photos and made it a profile pic to his, he said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see if Summer Gibson ever changes her profile picture to her and the other gal dancing around in the rain.
I doubt it. Those girls don't want you to know they're human.
My co-driver here just said he met them personally and had some photos with them today.
Now, I'll defend those gals. They were super duper nice and great sports about everything. So I really enjoyed visiting with them. Real, actually down-to-earth girls, despite just how pretty they are.
Yeah, some of them girls, they don't want you to know they're human because that's their job.
So the sky is just lit up down here, or up here in Wichita.
What'd you do? Head out early for your next stop?
Yes, sir.
Don't park near any trailer parks up that way.
Why would you leave out early other than going sightseeing before you punch your card in the morning? Simply because, you know, they ain't gonna let you into the venues until 12 o'clock anyhow.
You know that right on the head. I'm doing sightseeing tomorrow. We're going an hour north of Wichita.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, we had some storms roll through here last night and today. My wife said it woke her up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I slept right through it. Aha! I found a picture of my mobile command center.
I got the highway warning signs up here lit up saying warning high wind area.
That's the command center in the golf cart, right?
No, that's the Impala. Hell, I thought you boys would like all that electronic gizmos.
I was zooming in on it, looking at all that, going, holy crap, that's a lot of antiquated crap in there.
Yeah, it's amazing how much stuff you can do now with a smartphone.
Yeah, you can probably pack every bit of that into one new iPhone or something.
Well, since I got my S6, I don't even take a regular camera with me anymore. My S6's camera is almost as good, if not better, than my Sony camera I paid $400 for a couple of years back. I run my scanners through my smartphone. Other than if I'm doing something special where I need transmittability, I can do pretty much all my scanning through my cell phone now. Yeah, I mean, these smartphones are a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the majority of the pictures that I posted up there on the Facebook page were taken with my cell phone. I did bring a little point and shoot camera with me just to try to save some battery power on the phone, because I was using this app and, you know, a few other things as well, and this Dedgum S6 battery just doesn't seem to last very long. So, but otherwise, yeah, I agree with you. The cameras are pretty amazing on these Samsungs.
And nowadays, with the apps that are out there, if I want to do HDR photos, you know, you can do it through the phones now. You don't even have to do multiple exposure photos anymore. I used to be big about that. I'd take and do multiple exposure photos so I can get different background images and stuff like that. You can do it with the phones now. You don't even need it.
Yeah, I really like some of the photos folks are posting on Facebook where they use that one photo app to kind of change everything into a painting type thing. Looks pretty cool.
Well, that photo I just posted had, I think I ran 2 different apps on that photo. I think I ran Super Photo on it, and then I think I ran it through the Focus app.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about there. It's that's a pretty neat effect. I downloaded the app earlier today, but I hadn't had a chance to play with it. I was too busy out there turning wrenches and getting sweaty.
Well, you saw that IH golf cart that I posted yesterday.
Yippers.
Here, I'm going to run it through an app real quick. I guess it helps if I save it first. Now, that was done in figure 30 seconds through an app. I mean, shit, I can't do that with 3 photographs in 30 seconds. It takes me longer to try to make that out of photographs than it did for the app to do it.
Yeah, I remember fiddling with Photoshop forever trying to get cool effects going on, and here all I gotta do is hand the phone to my kid and I can have pretty much everything in my archive changed up in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm reading an article and looking at pictures of that overkill golf cart online. That's a pretty neat beast.
Oh, that thing's online?
Yeah, I just did a quick Google search for overkill golf cart and pulled up pictures, and it was about the 3rd or 4th one down. Clicked on it, went to the page, and there's a Popular Science article about it. Yeah, apparently put it on a shortened International Scout chassis that he had gotten from somebody nearby.
Yeah, that's what the girl told me. when I was there picking up the brake shoes that it was on a shortened International Scout. And I just kind of did the same thing. I Google searched it real quick, and it came up. There's a YouTube video of it, and it's in the parking lot of the golf cart sales. I guess I don't know what you call it, golf cart dealership that we have here in Joliet. And yeah, I thought it was just some toy they played with. I didn't know they actually made it famous. Yeah, golf carts up here are like fashion statements. Everybody's got one, and everybody has to make them better than everybody else's.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive there. I would drive the crap out of that thing.
Well, I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen over at our campground where we're at now, because all of us that came from our old campground, we were restricted. We could only have electric golf carts. Something to do with conservation or what have you. This new campground we all moved to, we can have gas carts now. And one old boy that turned around and had a jacked up electric cart has already went out and bought a gas cart. Told his kid, here's the check, fill out the amount, whatever they want for it, get me a gas cart. So he's already bought him a gas cart. I'm waiting to see how long it is before it's got 12-inch tires on it. It's all jacked up. Now me, because the cart that I have is for my 71-year-old mother, who I don't need busting another femur trying to hump up and down these hills that this place is on. I can't jack it up. I have to leave it low to the ground. But doesn't mean I can't play with it in other ways.
All you have to do is wire a couple of batteries in series and let that puppy go.
Well, it's only a 36-volt cart, so I can only wire so many batteries in so much series. But I can jack them up to 8-volt batteries. But them frickin' 6-volt batteries are $100 a pop because I just bought 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm watching the video on that thing now. That is totally boss, man. Totally. I'd love that thing.
And hell, maybe that's what you can take on Power Tour.
Yeah, that article said it'll do 120 miles an hour. Of course, I've never seen an International do that before, but hey, you never know.
No, I haven't figured out yet, but if I have it my way, what I'm going to end up doing over the winter is I'm going to get one of them fiberglass front end kits for a new Camaro, and I'll put a new Camaro front end on the one that I have now. Yeah, seeing that this is her first golf cart, I got to make sure that she doesn't go crashing it up first before I go putting some money into it. Lori will be particularly liking of that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, they sell that for $1,000 on eBay, but I've seen them cheaper than that. Yeah, my neighbor that was the next road over from us, they actually had a Cadillac golf cart. It was pretty cute.
Yeah, I've seen those and the Hummer ones too.
Yeah, the Camaro ones are kind of new. That's why I was particular in it. Also, because all I have to do is change the front end. I don't have to worry about changing the back end. And, yeah, they're pretty easy. Like I said, we'll see. I know I'm going to go through hell when it comes time to it to get rid of the zebra stripe, because my mom's kind of particular to the zebra stripes, but, whatever. She'll get over it.
Sorry, we went quiet there. We just drove through a pretty heavy downpour.
Hot Rod Shower Tour 2016, baby.
Yeah, just considered it a free car wash. I didn't catch it, but were you talking about actually replacing the front end of the golf cart with a Camaro type body panel?
Yeah, they make a whole kit that you can do the front or the back or both, whatever. I'm just going to do the front. Yeah, I got to see how it works out first for myself. Preferably, I'd rather do it on a gas cart. That way I can play with the horsepower of it. And I don't think Ma will appreciate the jerking on a gas cart. That's why the electric cart came along and I took it.
Is your mom into actual hot rods?
Yeah, if I told you some of the cars my ma used to have, oh my God, it'd make your head spin. Besides for the 66 Mustang, my ma had a 70 Galaxy XL with a 429 in it, a Buckets Council car. As her midlife crisis, she bought a '89 Ford Ranger GT once. Had a V8 Chevy Monza. Yeah, my mom liked to play with cars. As she's gotten older, she's gotten more practical, and that's why she's in a Ford Flex of all things. She's got a freaking station wagon that looks like it should be a Woody.
I can get that. Sorry, my buddy just said you could pick up wood vinyl on eBay for about $20.
Yeah, the problem with the Flex was it came out too late. They were trying to jump on the coattails of the PT Cruiser and the HHR and all that, and it just came out too late. Flex never took off like Ford expected that it would.
I'll take it. Sorry, my GPS. I was going to say I'm probably going to offend somebody by saying this, but PTs are pretty crappy cars.
There ain't nothing pretty about a PT. They are crappy.
Yeah, if I have a client that ever calls me and says I have a PT Cruiser, I stop them right then and there and refer them to anybody else but me. I don't want to work on them.
Hey, but when they first came out with them, they were hot shit.
I mean, we've got local car clubs that's got like 20 of them, so they're still popular. I still think they're trash.
But they sold a shit of them.
Well, the body style wasn't too bad looking, to be honest, and it certainly was different. But yeah, unfortunately, it shared the same platform as the Neon, and that thing was a total POS.
A friend of mine just sold an SRT Neon and made a shit pot full of money on it.
Yeah, they sold those things real cheap to people that didn't know anything about maintenance, and those things are very picky about that kind of thing. Timing belts are notorious, and water pumps go bad, and you cannot overheat those things.
And that's what he ended up doing. He overheated it, had to put a motor in it, got the motor done, and sold it.
Yeah, they didn't take too kindly to overheating at all. They would pretty much blow a head gasket instantly on those things. Or the timing belt would break or skip and bend all the valves in them. Yeah, those were not very good little engines.
Well, I'll tell you what. I remember being out of high school, having a badass Cutlass with a small block in it, thinking my shit didn't stink, and got my doors blowed off at GL.
Yeah, I was talking with my buddy over the weekend while we were driving, and we were both remembering a old mid-'80s Chrysler minivan with that four-cylinder with the turbo on it, and he would go out drag racing people and just smoke them on the track.
The 2-2 Caravan, yes. Yes, I actually knew a guy who had one of those. Taught 2 kids how to drive on it, and I couldn't tell you how many clutches he had to do in that thing. Oh yeah, it was a stick too, by the way. I forgot to mention. It was a 2-2 Caravan turbo stick, 1989.
Sounds about right.
All his cars were stick shifts, and he special ordered that Caravan with the stick.
Yeah, back in the day when that was an actual option. Nowadays, the stick's about gone the way of the dinosaur.
Nah, you can still get a stick. Up till a couple of years ago, right before he died, he bought a new Camry for his wife with a stick shift. I think it was like a 09, and I think I think it was an 09, and he had to order it with the stick though. It wasn't something that they could get off the showroom.
I have to dig through my pictures, but I believe in Gonzales. I took a picture of a station wagon with a big block and a 4 or 5 speed in it. That was pretty impressive.
Well, I was commenting on a buddy of mine's photo. He took a picture of an old, about a 76, 77, because that was the only 2 years, of an old 442 Cutlass. And that's what I had. It was when I first got it, it was a 260 with a T55 speed behind it. Like I said, I lived through the 70s era of crappy muscle cars.
Yep, I remember those days myself.
I think I just sold the pedals and linkage out of it. It was a couple years ago I sold them on eBay. I think I got $150 for the pedals and linkage out of that car.
I always run my cars at a crusher. I don't sell my cars.
Well, I'm going to need to sign off and call it a night on my end. I got a work day ahead of me again tomorrow.
Yeah, I just noticed it was getting on 11:30 myself too here, and I'm like, my wife's gonna be walking through the door any minute now, and I'm gonna have to play nicey nice with her for a little while.
Yeah, I got lucky and mine went out for a few hours this evening with a friend, so it's been nice and quiet around here. Just here chatting with you guys.
Yeah, mine's a dispatcher at Roto-Rooter, so she works second shift.
Well, good night to whoever's listening. I'll talk to y'all again tomorrow.
All right, Scott. Talk to you tomorrow.
Jesus, dude, I just saw that picture of the command center. Wow.
Ah, you like that? You should see what my mobile repair unit looks like. Well, Josh, you travel safe. I'm going to call it a night.
Hey, will do. We just arrived in Wichita at our hotel, so we're safe. Thanks.
Good deal. Have fun tomorrow. 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 Have fun tomorrow.